Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raise. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the early game free-to-play gearing for champions, something I've not discussed really too much in detail yet. And to do that, I'm joined by a fellow competitor. He's number 10 on the leaderboards, and I'm Roblox. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on the channel here today.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. I know you were saying that you've been sick recently, so I appreciate it. And it's early in the morning for you, so I doubly appreciate it. I'm excited to see, you pushing up even further now that hopefully you're feeling a bit better and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But first question, how's the free-to-play challenge been for you overall? You were saying it's your second time doing it.
Yeah, it's my second time doing it, and overall, it wasn't going that good to start. I hadn't
Okay.
really pulled any epics or good rares. I mean, I felt like kind of just all the success I had was basically with our champions that we all started with. I had
Right,
Alice,
right.
Tagore, Taragi, Kale, Ugo, and Morag. Those were the six that I had. Nothing that I
Mm.
pulled really made my roster. But then I pulled a Calvalax, and I haven't used him yet, but he's almost done getting leveled, and I'll be gearing him today. So hopefully he makes a big impact.
Yeah, that's a crazy pull to get. That's so good. Just top level poisoner, like poison.
Hmm.
It's a little bit out of the meta late game, right? Because hard mode dungeons is not so good. But I mean, we're still, for the most part, on those normal dungeons, getting those locked in. Clan boss, he's probably pretty good for Chimera early, actually, as well. I would say. I'm excited to see what you'll do with him.
Me too. Yeah.
Seeing as our first collab as well, I've been watching. Obviously, you've been putting up videos of your progress over on your channel on YouTube. I think you stream as well over on Twitch. Is that right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So what's the name of the Twitch channel if the viewers want to find you over there?
So everything is I'm roadblock, one word.
Yeah.
So twitch.tv/ I'm roadblock, and same thing on the YouTube.
Hmm.
If it's okay with you, I shout out something I've got special going on at the end of February.
Yeah, 100%. Go for it.
So on the 22nd of February, we'll actually be celebrating my birthday. That's gonna be next weekend. At 10 a.m. Mountain Time, I'll be doing an all-day stream. So I don't know if any of your viewers want to come hang out, but it's gonna be a lot of raid content. Maybe we'll play a couple other games. Who knows? But I'm very excited about that. So
Sick. Cool. Well, happy birthday in advance.
thank you.
Hopefully you get two Calvalac, second Calvalac for your birthday. The
Or a
double
Theodore or
Calvalac.
something, right?
Yeah. Oh man, a Geo would be nice. Sorry, I'm choking on
Yeah.
something here. But let's dive into the topic of today's video. We'll be doing another collab. I think chatting maybe more generally about free to play over on your channel. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do quite yet, but for this one, gearing, you said right before we started, you've got a unique build on Alice. So I'm curious to hear what that is and what's going on. Um, but yeah, I think it's something I've not discussed much in the free to play challenge, and for me is now like a huge focus. I would say for me in month two, I think two big focuses. Number one is really diversifying, building up multiple champions now for faction wars. And a big part of the reason for that is to get that gear, perception gear in particular from the Forge. And then, yeah, the other focus is gearing. I can't wait for the free re-gearing event. But yeah, what you have any unique builds? How have you been finding the gearing so far? Have you made that a focus yet yourself?
Um. Yes. So I've been. My Alice is really well built. I actually just sent her
Hmm.
to you over on the Discord. It, I've got a screenshot of it, but it's not unique in the sense that it's pretty typical build, but I think it's very powerful for how early we are um in the game.
Oh
So
wow, yeah, Savage, 180 speed, 200 accuracy,
actually, I
nice.
think
Whew.
it's 192
Yeah,
speed. Yeah.
nice, yes. Sorry, maths is wrong. One nice, very nice.
Oh, sorry. That's actually a slightly old. Sorry, that is a slightly old.
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
been tweaking, glyphing her every chance I can.
Yeah,
Um,
that's sick
but
though. Nice.
yeah, I'm really proud of the build I managed to get on her. Obviously, I got lucky, but
Yeah.
one thing I want to ask you about gearing, if that's okay,
Mm.
is how have you been using the market, or have you bothered using it at all?
Oh, that's a really interesting one. I've barely bothered at all. I actually do on my main account. When I see a 6-star piece of speed gear, it's like legendary with speed, I just buy it on my main, and it's several million silver. But I'm like, that's worth. On the free to
Yeah.
play. Barely touched it. Just been obviously picking up the green shards. Picked up a few copies of Armiger. He's now fully booked on my account. It's in the vault, I think. But I've not done
Mhm.
too much in gear. That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about it, honestly, for the free to play. Have you found the market to be good?
Yes.
Like,
That weapon that's on Alice, I bought from the market.
oh damn, nice.
It triple rolled into
Wow.
it, so it's attack percent, speed, crit damage, crit rate.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, and it
That's
triple rolled into attack percent. Unfortunately, I'd like that to be
yeah,
maybe speed, but uh, regardless, that's a huge boost, and that was probably like 3 million silver or something like that. But
yeah.
when you think about how many runs, I mean, I can't even run currently because I haven't been pushing. I've been sick. I
Mm.
can't even run Fire Knight 20 anyways right now. So the odds of me getting that piece are incredibly low. So to be able to find stuff in the market is a great catch up mechanic, I feel like.
Yeah, I actually think that weapon. That's more than a catch up, man. Like that's giga charged. Holy crap! Yeah, that's huge. It's something that I've actually been doing. I think in terms of the dungeons, I'm obviously very far. I think I'm in the lead, even overall for
Hmm.
the dragon. But like, for me, I see very little value in farming this dungeon. Ice Golem is okay, but again, I'm not really that pushed about it. I have been doing a little bit of farming in Fire Knight, and the reason is there's a few sets here that I think can have an impact. And even having one good set, I think one good shield set, one good regen set, even one good stun set for swapping those around to beat faction war bosses, that might actually be quite useful. So I'm like, okay, there's a few good sets in here that I could pick it up and it'll be useful. So I don't mind spending some energy. And of course, the Savage stuff. But I'm not too keen on going crazy farming the level 20 dungeons because, you got that beautiful 6-star legendary with the right substats. That's so hard to get. Like, you could do hundreds and thousands probably runs and not
Yeah.
see that savage weapon ever drop. So yeah, it's one of those tricky things. I don't know. What is your philosophy on the dungeon? And of course, there's the pinpoint dungeon as well, the event dungeon, a spider for accessories. Do you have a philosophy in terms of when and where to farm the dungeons for gear, or is it something that you're not doing?
Um. So this year I'm not doing a lot of farming in the dungeon. I
Yeah.
do 3 or 4 runs a day to complete that advanced quest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I mostly just do that in Dragon because I feel like it has the best sets overall.
And you're probably in a
th-
relatively high level as well, to be fair, in Dragon compared to the others. I think that makes a
mhm,
difference too.
I almost got into hard. I haven't
Ooh.
tried again with Calvalac, but I
Yeah, oh,
almost got into
yeah.
hard. I was manualing it. It was like an 8-minute fight. The waves were really hard to get through. Once I got to the boss, he
Yeah. It's so
I
slow
got
for
him to
me.
50%. I got him to 50% and I couldn't get past stage 25. But
Yeah.
um no, I have found that I'm not doing a lot of farming in the dungeons either. I think last year I over prioritized it.
Mhm.
Um the meta has quite shifted and I'm doing a lot of forging. The event dungeon has been a very big part of early success, getting those early banners and accessories with that free extra accuracy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um that's been a huge boost, especially when you're using poisoners and stuff like that. So um
Ooh,
yeah,
there we
there
go.
isn't really that much going on in the dungeons. And
Mhm.
I'm not going for the fusion either. I felt that Dungeon Divers cost was a little too steep. So
Yeah, 100%. I think the fusion is just it seems quite a difficult fusion, honestly, and
mhm,
yeah, I thought she was a hard sell for the free to play regardless. It seems
yeah.
a lot of us started with Ugo or Wukong. Like, we've already got the block buffs, and you only need
Mhm,
one Hydra key as well for this challenge. Like, you don't get anything for, as far as I'm aware, for a second or third key. So it's like, whereas a normal account, you'd be quite happy for a long-term second or third team Hydra champion. Not so
yeah.
much for us. Yeah, I agree with you. I've seen some people farming the dungeons really hard, and I personally think that's a pretty bad idea. And it's not something I'd recommend to anyone outside the challenge either. I think a little bit
Yeah.
is okay. Like you said, for me, now I'm on stage 20 Fire Knight. I'm like, I'll farm it a little bit. Not much, but I'll sink some energy in again just to pick up a couple of pieces from those sets because, you don't need super good gear. I think the thing at Savage, you're so lucky getting that piece because you have
Yeah.
to get good substats. Like for regen set, kind of any shields weapon and helmet will
Hmm.
do, you know? Like, you'd like speed and HP percent, but you can kind of get away with bad pieces, and then you just need one good bottom piece. Or
Hmm.
just one not terrible one. And it's like, okay, that might be enough to make a difference. And same with the shield set. With the Savage set, that's tough. Like, you really want crit, right? Crit
Yeah.
damage, speed, attack, maybe. You start to really get limited. I think that's tough. I think going crazy chasing for that stuff. There's a big opportunity cost where you could just be grinding campaign and you could get a way more characters to 6-star, push further in faction wars, get a big
Hmm.
influx of higher rarity stuff. Like, I need to push up through high elves today. I've got now some champions for it, some epics pulled. Great, I want to push up, get to stage 13. I was chatting about Colred with this. 13, the big one where you start getting legendary materials, and
Yeah.
bam, that's some 5 and 6-star perception gear. Ooh, that's what I'm aiming to be the main source of gear. The forge is the main source of gear. The dungeons, I'll touch them for missions. I'll do a little bit, but yeah, not much, not much.
That's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Yeah. How about have you done, actually? Speaking of faction wars, and from your experience from last year, how important was it last year to have any of those funky builds? Like, was it important to have like shield sets for faction wars, a regen set, or was it like, actually no, just cobble together whatever gear you happen to pick up from those missions, etc., and you'll be fine? What was your experience with that before?
So last year I really failed on Faction Wars. It was
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't do very well last year. I got demoralized very early on. And a big part of it was the lack of Faction Wars. And I was farming dungeons a lot last year, like I said, over prioritizing it and
Okay.
not getting any good pieces of gear. So I've learned my lesson and I'm prioritizing Faction Wars a lot more this year. Um, but what I want to do is I think what you just kind of touched on a little bit. I want to have those sets that I can rotate across the champions that I build, like a
Mm.
shield set. Maybe I want a regen set. I also have pulled the same day I pulled Cavalax, I also pulled Lady Anne. So I do want a regen set because that's my Bommel answer. I think he's
Yeah. I've
started today, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got her as well. Yeah. For me, she's in some random sets, but that's something where I'm actually not 100% sure what build I need for her. But yeah, I think a couple of people, weirdly, I think that's been so strange. Like, a couple of people got Harima on day one. I know me and you, and I think at least one or two other people have Lady Annabelle. Like, you see some of these
Yeah,
duplicates, a few people have Geomancer. It's weird,
yeah.
you know, the same champs. It feels like cropping up a lot. Just the
Hmm.
chances. But I think Deadwood maybe said he just pulled Vergis or something, or I don't know. But or maybe he said it was his most wanted. But yeah, anyway, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. The regen set for her. Yeah, for Doom Tower. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just unlocked. And this is something I don't know. Maybe I should actually push up, try hard, and see, can I, like, what does it look like in hard bomb? Do I need to put her to 60? Probably. I don't know. Um,
No, not.
no, you don't think
I
so?
think in my experience, 50 works pretty well until the later stages of hard. It's been a
Yeah.
while. You do want warm. You need. Well, you don't. What's really unique because you have Wukong. I love the
Well, I
combination
don't have him
of.
actually. I didn't. I
Oh,
started.
that's right.
Yeah, I
That's right.
went
I'm sorry.
Sigmunds.
I,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of collabs in the last
Yeah.
couple of days. I'm so sorry about that.
That's all good.
Um, so the big thing, then you would need to take her to 60 because you would need War Master, or else it's going to take you forever.
Yeah. 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 That's true. Um, how much have you done much Pinpoint Dungeon? I tell you what I've been doing with it. When it first came out, I farmed it not too much. I know some people like maxed out some of the events in there for, I think, Cat's stuff. I farmed a bit of like stage 10. I think I farmed a little bit of stage 13, not too much. And then I honestly left it for a long time because at that point I was able to do like stage 20 dragon and up. And I was like, "Oh, it's tough to go back." Even though pinpoint gear is great, I found it tough to go back to 4 to 6 star gear when I was able to do 5 to 6 star gear elsewhere. I was like, that is a tough sell to me. But I have gone back now. I'm able to get up to stage 20. I've been doing a bit of this for some of those pinpoint accessories. I think they're really good. But I don't know. Have you done any of the pinpoint dungeon? Have you been gearing people in those
I
accessories?
I have farmed a bunch of it. That
Okay.
is my most farmed dungeon, especially early on, because
Hmm.
it was easier to get 4 to 5 star accessories than it was to do a
Yeah.
spider.
Yeah. It's so much easier than Spider. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
So most of my champions, and we'll see this a little bit more when we go over to my channel, but most of my champions are rocking a pinpoint accessory.
Yeah.
Um,
I think all of mine are pretty much,
mhm.
except Alice. I think Alice has the Alice chase stuff, but I think everyone else is in at least one pinpoint accessory, if not more. Yeah, that extra speed,
Yes,
especially, is crazy early game, right?
exactly. The speed, the free accuracy this early on when you really need it, especially as you get higher in clan boss and the dungeons. So it's been a big factor for my account, and I think it's really helped speed up the progress too, because I can't imagine if the only source of accessories was Spider. I mean, most of us probably would just be farming stage 10 of Spider, but
Yeah, yeah,
you know, it's been nice to be able to farm somewhere else and potentially get, you know, 3 pieces that can make a 3 piece set on one of your champions. Now, I haven't been farming it at stage 20. I might be there now. I haven't like I said, I just haven't been playing a lot lately,
yeah,
unfortunately. But um, I do think that it's been a huge resource. And I mean, one of the reasons that we don't want to farm the other dungeons is because the gear there, it doesn't scale as well, right?
hmm,
But I feel like the pinpoint stuff is going to be good wherever, right? Because you can get that extra speed. Even intercept, I've found some really unique uses for not intercept. Is it
yeah.
intercept?
It gives
Yes.
intercept. Yeah, 4 pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I have 2 of them in intercept. I found that you have
Ooh.
to be kind of careful about that because um that makes them targets in Hydra. So, but you can
Oh.
manipulate that a little bit with resistances if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Interesting.
found some unique uses for having that intercept buff for Hydra, and then it's come in handy even in some arena battles. I've gotten lucky with it. So, you know, it's been pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I was just looking through my pinpoint gear. It pretty much is not great. I've got some bits with
Yeah.
accuracy, like it's fine, and it's good filler set. It's good filler set as well. I would say, my opinion would be, generally speaking, when I'm looking for gear, if I look at any of the chaps, I always take Sigmund. It's generally like speed and accuracy, and maybe
Mhm.
some defensive stats or some crit or whatever. But I'm looking for pieces with speed, and that's what I'd advise people to do. And I would advise, again, at this stage of the game, definitely make sure you've got rank rarity, mythicals if you can, and speed charms for your 5 to 6 star perception.
Absolutely.
Like, don't, in my opinion, it's not worth wasting the charms. You can't put mythicals anyway, but it's not worth using your speed charms until you, I think, get the 5 to 6 star stuff. Is
Mhm.
my take on it. I think you can use the rank and rarity on 4 to 5, trying to get some of that earlier 5 star perception gear. I think is totally fine. But I'd be trying to preserve the speed charms because they're quite rare, and that can make a huge
Mhm.
difference. Like, you get a 6 star legendary perception piece with speed substat. That's where you're gonna see, I think, your bills like really, really explode and go crazy. And
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, I can see like random speed boots. Speed boots, any speed boots are good. Look for your speed boots. Everyone is basically in speed boots. It doesn't matter
We
the set. I'm like, if the boot has speed, it's going on. Let's go. We've got all sorts of random sets in here. 6 star curing. Who cares, man? That's 45
yeah.
speed. Lock it in. I'll take it. Let's go.
We
Um,
we we talked about the market earlier, and I had right as I refreshed the market, I had 6 star speed boots that were
ooh.
speed on the boots, and they were like, I think it was really expensive. It was the
Yeah.
most expensive one I've ever seen. I want to say 8 million silver.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. I just started grinding dungeons. I was like farming up as much silver as I could. And then I got the 8 billion, but the hour had already passed and
Oh.
they're gone into you know into the ether. So I was sad about that one.
That's crazy. I'll be honest, about I've got 280,000. That's about as much silver as I ever have. 8 million. I can't even imagine what that feels like on the free to play. I'm constantly rolling stuff, probably too much. I kind of leave stuff at another tip. You can for players, you can leave stuff at 11 and then roll up to
Mhm.
12 or 15 and then roll up to 16 when there is an artifact enhancement, because you don't get points for, let's say, levels 13, 14, 15. You don't get artifact enhancement points, only for 12, 16, 8, 4, and so on. Well, that's all of them, in fact. So
Yeah.
you can leave stuff at the breakpoints. And even just like it could be super cheap to just slap on some gear and roll it to 8. Like, this is my faction war guy. I'm like, Burgess, I probably will build him properly at some point, but for now, I'm like, just slap on. He actually has some speed boots, believe stone skin, no less. They'll go on someone at some point. But I'm like, here we go. Got some HP percent stuff. It's not that good because he's only low stars, but still. And yeah, I'm just like, slap on some gear. This stuff is fairly okay. Put it to level 8, and that can really help you push faction wars for a
Mhm.
low cost. Yeah, which I think moving into month 2, I think that's when that becomes important. I didn't do it for month 1, but now I'm like getting some level 8 gear. Now that I've got champions I'm going to keep, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, level 8 gear on them. That's going to help. And that will turn itself into more gear through faction wars. So it's a good
Mhm.
investment, I think. Need to rebuild Sabbath as well. She's in the old 4-star stuff. That needs to go as well. I'm like, 4 stars dead to me now. I'm living in 5-star land at this point, a month in.
Same.
5 and 6
Unless it's
stars only.
Pinpoint. I make an
Yeah.
exception for Pinpoint because I feel like even a 4-star Pinpoint can, because you're getting the extra stats, whether it's speed or accuracy on that piece,
Yeah.
it can really it feels more like a 5-star.
Right. Like this banner for Kale's pretty all right. I mean, I'd rather
Mhm.
accuracy, but it's fine, right? And it's got 9 speed. Not a ton. It's only 4-star, but that's 9 speed right there on a banner. It's pretty good. Plus the 20 accuracy from being Pinpoint. So I'll take that. The defense helps him live against the con boss as well. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Um, But cool. All right. I think that's a lot of just core champion building. And you guys can see from me flipping through the characters, a lot of them are really in, there's some random gear in there, but there's a few curing pieces just cause. A lot of
Mhm.
people are just in perception or random gear. There's some old gear on here as well. But that's kind of what it is, I think, at this point in the game. Even my best gear on Alice is nowhere near as good as yours. I'm very, very jealous, but it gets the job done for the most part. Um, yeah, like he's got a 4-star attack ring. I never got a different one though. As well, you're quite limited in your choices. But yeah, do you have
Mhm.
any final tips? Do you think for newer players for gearing, anything we've missed that they should definitely be paying attention to, in like the first 2 or 3 months of the game?
Um, so one thing that I tried to really do, and I really want to talk about this on my channel a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, is don't be afraid to try and push content that you might not think you're ready for. So I really wanted to do Hydra the first week we unlocked it, and I got close. I got 1.4 million. This last one that we just completed, I managed to get the one. I think I got 1.7. So I just barely scraped through, but that's actually really because the gear that you get from Hydra can really go a long way this early on. The extra HP stats that you get from a piece of stone skin
True.
can really make an impact. So, um, if you're part of the challenge and you're looking for areas to, try and see if you can squeeze out that extra damage in one area of the game, especially like Doom Tower. We didn't talk too much about Doom Tower and the
Mm,
gear from there. Um, it sounded like we were about to wrap up, but real
yeah,
quick,
sure. No, go for it. Go for it.
what who have you been farming in Doom Tower with your silver keys?
Well, it's just flipped over, unfortunately. So what I was doing, um, I didn't want to farm anything that would require manual play. So like Griffin was out. I think I was farming the Bloodthirst one, and then
Hmm.
I got into Doom Tower hard and I was able to clear some of that. And then I was farming. I just forged some pieces while you were talking. I got some really nice fatal. I was actually farming some fatal pieces. Now, is this the best gear set? No, but this was the one I could farm the highest rarity materials for in Doom Tower. So that's what I went for, and I think it's paid off. I got some. Where was it? Fatal. I just got like a decent glove. It was a crit rate with attack percent speed. At
Oh,
this point
very
in the game,
nice.
solid. And then I just got this helmet, attack percent, resistance, but speed and crit rate, 6-star helmet.
Very nice.
Bam.
Yeah.
we slap the two of those together, and that could even be a reasonable set for someone that I'm going to use in like an actual main team. Like that's solid. Um, so yeah, I think basically whatever is the best thing. I think Bloodthirst is very strong at this level. I think
Mhm.
Guardian is real good too. So if you can farm
But
one of those sets, it's good. I don't know what you've been farming. I just went for what's the highest rarity stuff I can get, and I can do on
yeah,
auto quickly, relatively quickly. Um,
I never got far in hard. I only got through I think 4 or 5 stages in hard.
okay,
So I never got to any of the bosses, but on normal I was able to farm the Griffin. Um I,
nice.
I,
Wow.
at the highest level that I had it unlocked. So I got stuck at the Nether Spider right before the end. I
Hmm.
couldn't get past that last Nether Spider. I didn't have the um just a good way to really survive. I got Calvalax just a little too late. I think he
Yeah.
probably would have been able to do it with his passive, but um the farming the Griffin was my plan because I really want Guardian gear as a way to try and progress further in clan boss if possible.
Yeah, it is great. I would have loved to do this, but for me, my team would not work on auto for Griffin. So
Mhm.
I said, and I was like, I could manual it, but God, that's like be almost an hour every day. So I thought about it for about 2 seconds, and I said, no,
Yeah.
I will take worse gear. It's fine. But yeah, Guardian is great. Like if you can farm the Griffin, that's super good. Uh, but yeah, yeah, I think that a lot of these sets are sort of power crept now for late game players, but for early game players, they are solid. Obviously, lethal
Mhm.
is incredible in this Doom Tower rotation, but I think it's going to be fairly difficult to farm hard mode Dark Fae. I think the problem with hard mode this time for rotation 3, I think Bommel is the first boss, which could be just a huge blocker. Like I don't know. We're lucky we both have Lady Annabelle, but I think other players
Yeah.
might get very stuck and not be able to beat even floor 10 of this rotation. I mean, I think
Mhm.
it's not unusual for many newer players to say, I can beat the first Bommel on normal, but I think he's on floor 50 again or something like that, and say, I can't beat the second form and I can't go anywhere. That's pretty common. So that could be an issue for sure. But yeah, Doom Tower's crazy. Like anything that's giving you forge stuff is like absolutely bonkers. And if you do spend money, obviously, we can't because we're free to play challenge. But if you do, I actually think almost any of the Forge Pass sets again could be absolutely crazy. I actually got some bolster. I probably should forge this
Mhm.
up to be again. It's sort of a combo of shield and regen. That's probably a good one for me to do this. And I don't think I'm gonna get any 5 to 6 star. Let's forge some bolster for the end. Um, okay, cool. That's a good tip to bring up at the end. Any other final tips, or have we done it all? Have we cleared everything?
I feel like we've touched on just about everything.
Mm.
Um, how the only other thing I can think of, how far have you done Nightmare, or did you do it at all?
A nightmare campaign.
Yes.
So basically, my strategy for nightmare campaign, I think it was quite a sneaky strategy. Was I've done 2 5 stars, so I've got
Okay, so you
everything
got
except
the
the sacred. Yeah.
there's I think it's like now I want to say 6 pieces of speed that are in there, right? Something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, there is. I didn't
Yeah,
get
that's
anything good, but yeah, it's there.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna be the best gear, but it is in there, and I remember I pushed for that pretty early. I wasn't ready to really go hard in Nightmare, but,
Mm, mm.
I pushed in there to get the speed gear, and then I told you this before we started recording, but then, Bront, who's another competitor, he cleared Nightmare, and I was like, "Well, I can't let Bront be the only one, you know, he looks lonely up there, let me go help him out."
Yeah, that was my sneaky strat as well. I was like, how far can I go in Nightmare? I'll just wait for other people to do it. There's no rush, really.
Mhm,
Apart from
mhm.
like there is, as you said, there's a ton of silver and gems and chickens and legendary tomes, speed gear. There's good rewards actually for progressing. So it's like I want to do it, but I don't need to be the trailblazer. Spending 18
Yeah.
energy and losing that energy. I'll go a little slow. I'll let other people do it first, and then I will copy. I actually think I might finish it this weekend for the Sacred Shard for the 15x. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe one of these, like a Sissia, would be pretty nice. I don't have a burner. Cupidus would do the same. As I
That's who
mean,
I was going for too.
not expecting, obviously, the chances to get them are absolutely minuscule, but it's
Yeah.
better than nothing. So I might do it. I might do it. We'll see. I'm not too worried if I don't get it done this weekend, but we'll see. That's
I
really
didn't
cool.
want to do it because I knew if I had the sacred shard in my inventory, I would spend it, which I did. But
Yeah, right.
you know, I'm a competitive person, and I was like, wait, somebody else beat me to it. I got to catch them now. So
Yeah, that's fair. I think there's not that much harm in pulling the sacreds. It's fine. Maybe, you know what? Actually, I should wait for next weekend. I think it's a 2x, just better chance. That's probably the play. It's tough. I pulled all my shards during the progressive chances. I got a few good epics, didn't it? I got the random Jingwan which was really good in the 2x void, so I was happy with that. But yeah, anyway, listen, we will discuss more over on not Bronze. Oh my God, you're saying Bronze, and now I'm saying Bronze. Bronze, he's number 1 on the leaderboards, but he's not in this collab. But check him out. Bronze, a great dude. But we'll be over on I'm Roadblock's channel. Again, make sure to check him out both on YouTube and on Twitch, guys. What was the date again? February?
22nd.
22nd.
At 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
There we go. Check him out on Twitch. I'm Roadblock. Roadblock, thank you for joining. And yeah, we'll see you guys over on his channel for another collab. Till then, goodbye.